Throughout my upbringing, I've exclusively immersed myself in the world of only one Dragon Ball Z dub, the Kai version. Recently, I have decided to expand my exploration by directly comparing Kai to the iconic original English dub. My goal is to embark on a quest to crown the ultimate dub champion. I'll dive into some of Dragon Ball's most cherished speeches and moments, analyzing them side by side while striving to remain as unbiased as possible. To do this, I'll bring in an outside perspective, my editor, who hasn't watched the series before, to share his first-time reactions to these classic scenes along with me. Last time, we tackled some radiant moments from the Saiyan Saga. Now, we're turning our gaze toward the acclaimed midsection of DBZ, the Frieza arc. And I think it would be a good place to start at Frieza's first ominous introduction.
I am the mighty Frieza, and yes, all the horrible stories you've heard are true.
Greetings, my name is Frieza. As you can no doubt surmise for yourselves, I'm quite the collector of Dragon Balls.
Frieza's first introduction presents an interesting difference between the original DBZ. The DBZ version immediately establishes Frieza as a villain, while the Kai scene reveals his evil nature more gradually through his off-putting energy. I prefer the Kai approach of limiting the initial exposition about Frieza's background, allowing the viewer to discover who he is through the narrative. This creates more intrigue and mystery. Additionally, experiencing the full revelation of Frieza's past atrocities throughout the saga makes the climax more impactful. Finally, I much prefer Frieza's voice acting in Kai over Z. It sounds more refined and sinister. The choice to slowly unveil Frieza's villainy through showing rather than telling makes for a more compelling viewing experience in DBZ Kai. Therefore, I gotta give a point to the Kai version. My editor also likes the Kai version more since the Kai introduction ends as a mid-episode cliffhanger leading into a commercial break. This amplifies the mystery and hype for him and others who watched it on TV, so a point goes to Kai for him as well. One pivotal scene occurs after Vegeta defeats Dodoria, who reveals the truth about Frieza destroying Vegeta's home planet. Vegeta's reaction is an intriguing character moment in both versions.
You're not going anywhere. But I want you to know, I do this not for my planet, not for my race, but because you thought you could make the Prince of Saiyans a slave to your whim! I'll be alright, but you won't. What? I don't care about my home planet, my family, or any of the other Saiyans Frieza did away with. I'm just disappointed in myself for not figuring it out a lot sooner. If I had known, I never would have wasted my life doing all of your dirty work!
In both versions, Vegeta seems indifferent about his planet's destruction, but furious over serving the ones responsible. However, his delivery has slightly more impact in Kai. In contrast, Z's dialogue conveys raw emotion, capturing Vegeta's rage at the blow to his pride. So, while Kai's voice acting has a bit more nuance, Z better encapsulates the depth of Vegeta's anger and indignation over slavery to his people's destroyer. I give an edge to Z for successfully highlighting Vegeta's prideful nature through his palpable outrage over his humiliating position. I'll give a point to the Z version for this one. My editor prefers Z on this one as well. He says in Kai, there's an OST which he doesn't feel matches the scene after watching it in the Z version. In Z, the lack of OST in this part complements the dramatic purpose of the scene and makes the audience entirely focus on Vegeta and the important information being discussed about Vegeta's planet. Both scenes were present during the end of the episodes, so it's safe to say both had the objective to hype and prepare for the next episode. However, he feels that in Z, it served better as a cliffhanger and shocking scene, while in Kai, it looked more like a normal episode finalization. So, point for Z for him as well. After many machinations, tricking Frieza and Zarbon to find the Dragon Balls, and sparing Krillin's life to take his, Vegeta believes he has finally gathered them all. However, the prideful Saiyan discovers he was deceived by Gohan.
When I find you, I'll kill you! You're dead! I swear it! You are dead! Filthy double-crossers! You will rue the day! You hear me? You're finished! Damn it all!
This revelation triggers one of Vegeta's most explosive reactions in the saga. In DBZ, his anger strangely feels hollow, lacking emotional punch. Meanwhile, in Kai, his performance erupts with fiery rage from start to finish. That desperate no after finding Gohan had a radar instead of a clock really conveys the gut punch he took that not only he was fooled by his rival's son, who was like 5 years old at this point, but also how close he really was to achieving his wish. And I think it goes without saying that Kai's version of Vegeta yelling out threats at the top of his lungs has a lot more emotion than Z's version. Kai clearly wins this round. Vegeta's vengeful disbelief echoes forcefully, befitting a warrior prince made into a fool by a child, while DBZ's reaction seems to miss that dignified sense of offended honor. Kai perfectly captures both the princely pride and the resulting pitiful defeat, selling the volcanic emotional shifts. Kai takes this round easily in my opinion by highlighting the depths of Vegeta's wounded ego. However, my editor has a different take. He gives a point to Z since he feels that Vegeta's rage was more apparent on Z than on Kai, due to the fact that on Z, we get a sequence of Vegeta non-stop raging while saying damn it all, while in Kai, this sequence is divided between him flying. Not only this, but in Z, Vegeta actually rages a bit more in terms of speeches. For someone who hasn't experienced Dragon Ball to its entirety, he felt Z was a bit more impactful than Kai in terms of Vegeta showing off his rage. Also, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave a like and subscribe. As Frieza grows increasingly desperate, he contacts the Ginyu Force, who finally make their flamboyant entrance.
Of the Ginyu Force! Ginyu Force rules! Ginyu Force rules! Force rules! Ginyu! We are the Ginyu Force!
Now, I, like Frieza, had no idea what absurdity I was in for. Their introduction is something else. I never knew the Ginyu Force song was an original Kai creation, but I found it a hilarious twist. Just when we expect these ruthless fighters to arrive, they launch into goofy poses choreographed to a catchy tune. It completely subverts expectations while enhancing the absurdity. We've heard how cold-blooded they are, yet here they are prancing about with a peppy backtrack. But despite its silliness, the song actually matches their eccentric vibe. Its blend of hype and hilarity encapsulates the colorful, otherworldly danger of the Ginyu Force. Its infectiously odd funkiness left me thinking, this ludicrous song kinda slaps. So, as jarringly silly as it first appears, the tune fits the flamboyant fare of these fighters perfectly. So, point decisively goes to Kai for this outlandishly catchy musical number. Frieza's stunned face says it all. The song is just as disorientingly goofy as the squad itself. Now, since my editor hasn't watched the show, it's interesting to hear what his reaction was to one of the more weird and goofier scenes in the show, and he was just as surprised as I was when I first watched it. However, he does like the Kai version more due to it being more visually appealing to see, although the pacing was agonizing on both versions for him. So, point to Kai for him. After defeating the Ginyu Force, Gohan, Krillin, and Dende attempt to sneakily make their wish behind Vegeta's back. However, Vegeta soon catches them red-handed, only for the dragon to then disappear due to the Grand Elder's death. Things go from bad to worse as a livid Frieza shows up madder than ever.
I should have done this a long time ago! You ruined everything, you little scumbag! How dare you stick your nose in my affairs! I could have been immortal! I hate you!
You vile, filth-sucking maggots! You will rue the day you cross my path! Prepare yourselves to embrace oblivion!
In this intense scene, Z's Frieza sounds like he's throwing a bit of a tantrum with the line, "I hate you," while Kai's version seethes with sinister hatred throughout. Kai's threatening tone of,
Let's refresh your memory.
also outshines Z's impatient, "time's up." However, both versions nail Vegeta's uneasy defiance. Yet the reactions to Frieza's outbursts truly set them apart.
Oh man, we're talking serious power here! This isn't happening! Oh wow, he's even worse than I thought he'd be!
Kai's horrified dialogue communicates shock and astonishment far beyond Z's mild surprise. Krillin sounds 2 seconds away from wetting himself. So, despite Z's solid Vegeta, Kai takes this encounter with richer vocal performances, selling the dread of Frieza's nightmarish fury. Point goes to Kai for me. My editor also agrees as he says the Kai version is 100% better. To him, it was basically the opposite of Vegeta and Midoriya. He felt since it was preparation for a possible fight, it worked better as an end-of-episode cliffhanger. Also, the soundtrack for Frieza was so hype, and the narrator coming up afterwards as we see Goku unknowing if he will be back or not was a nice touch for him. So taking this into consideration, he can easily say Kai destroyed Z on this one. Goku growing more desperate in his fight against Frieza, he decides to give an all-out kamehameha fueled with his kaioken times 20 transformation.
And I don't care if you're a million times stronger than me! Mark my words, I'm not going to let them down! Less than 50% power or not, if I pull off a kaioken times 20, I at least stand a chance!
This scene is very close, and I like both versions a lot. Kai's vocals shine through Goku's earth-shaking scream, bursting with destructive power. Yet Z's dialogue edges it out for me. So I'll give a point to Z, however, when it comes to the blast itself, different story.
Kamehameha!
I think making Goku say Kamehameha as he's attacking Frieza really helps the scene a lot, as opposed to Z's portrayal. So, a point for Kai. Each version claims one aspect of this iconic scene. We've arrived at perhaps the most iconic scene in all of anime. Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan against Frieza. And I must admit, Kai takes this legendary moment to greater heights. Kai's screams overflow with raw fury, with lines like,
I will make you suffer!
prove far superior to Z's dialogue. Even the music amplifies the emotion to operatic levels. Kai also better conveys Goku's exhausted impatience towards Gohan.
Do as I tell you right now, before I lose what little sense of reason I have left!
Truly, Kai captures the rending of Goku's soul as he explodes past his limits more starkly. Z pioneered this legendary scene, but Kai enriches it with stellar vocal work, worthy of such an iconic transformation. For this, I gotta give a point to Kai. For my editor, he'll go Kai too. He says the audio, the Goku's pre-transformation speeches with the echo behind it, and the more present thunder sounds makes the scene better in Kai. However, he doesn't like the OST used. After transforming, Goku quickly overwhelms Frieza. The baffled tyrant then asks Goku, "What are you?" To which Goku replies with his legendary "I am" speech.
You can destroy planets, but you can never destroy what I am, friend. I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. I am protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth. Allied to good! Nightmare to you! You haven't figured it out yet. I'm the Saiyan who came all the way from Earth for the sole purpose of feeding you. I am the warrior you've heard of in legends, pure of heart and awakened by fury. That's what I am. I am the Super Saiyan, Son Goku!
Here too, Kai's take soars higher through enriched dialogue and truer to form characterization. In Z, Goku basically brands himself as a guardian of goodness and justice, but this rings hollow. He's the same guy who tossed Cell a Senzu bean for a fair fight and spared Vegeta so they can battle again. Kai's scripting rightly avoids portraying Goku as some saintly hero. Instead, Kai's dialogue fittingly centers on Goku embracing his Saiyan heritage and unlocking the legends of Super Saiyan. Z's speech feels out of character and overly moralizing, whereas Kai aptly grounds Goku's iconic words in his sheer Saiyan pride. From nailing Goku's complicated morality to spotlighting the fulfillment of the Super Saiyan mythos, Kai delivers the definitive I am speech. Goku recognizes his density as the apex Saiyan warrior, not some squeaky clean savior. Kai blows Z out of the water, giving a point to Kai. My editor likes the Kai version more as well. He says he feels Kai takes the win for the use of OST. The OST in Kai is way more dramatic and melodic, which is perfect for iconic moments and scenes in which you'll have goosebumps in every rewatch. So point for Kai for him too. Now, we come to a top 3 scene for me in this saga as Goku permits a desperate Frieza to power up fully. As this unfolds, King Kai telepathically pleads with Goku.
Just a little bit longer. Yes, yes.
Goku? This is King Kai. Can you hear me?
All right. I'm here, King Kai. What is it?
Goku, why aren't you attacking Frieza? He's about to reach his maximum. This could be your last chance.
I want him to reach his maximum. I want to fight him when he's at his best.
I'm not kidding, Goku. Do you hear me?
I hear you, King Kai. I know all too well this may be my one and only chance to take him down. It's also the only chance I'll ever have to see what he's really made of.
Initially, Z's version bizarrely deflates the tension by portraying King Kai overly casual, almost like an abridged parody. Meanwhile, Kai's performance brims with dire urgency. The scene escalates further with Goku giving the reason why he's allowing Frieza to power all the way up.
I will not forget what you did to my best friend, Frieza! You took from him what no one has the right to take! Life!
What if you lose?
I won't lose. I can't lose.
Please think about what you're doing. This isn't a contest.
Krillin can't be brought back to life with the Dragon Balls a second time! And I refuse to take the death of my best friend sitting down! Before I'm done, he will bleed.
Kai's delivery oozes with rage. He movingly honors Krillin's bravery and character with somber sincerity, before vowing chilling retribution.
Before I'm done, he will bleed.
Z lacks this emotional weight, with Goku sounding generically angry about an innocent person's death. But Kai's grief-stricken yet controlled tone personalizes the pain and loss, promising cathartic vengeance against someone who took his best friend. So Kai once again prevails in my opinion through performing the soul of the scenes with conviction and depth. Z entertains, but Kai makes us feel to the core. Point to Kai for me. However, my editor disagrees. He says Z's scene was rougher, and it gave him the feeling of what's going to happen next. The background music sounds were less used in Z, creating a tension crescendo and an air of seriousness. Kai finished as a cliffhanger, which was top tier, but making this scene as a mid-episode scene set up a bigger cliffhanger later in the episode, so point for Z for him. As Namek crumbles, a revived Vegeta encounters Goku as a Super Saiyan for the first time.
I guess it's a good thing I didn't bury you that deep after all.
Well. Kakarot, you dog! You did it! You actually did it! You're a Super Saiyan! I can see it!
Vegeta!
Well, Kakarot, I see you've become a Super Saiyan at last.
Z's version wins handily for me. I love how Vegeta sounds proudly awestruck, with extra dialogue emphasizing Goku reaching the pinnacle of Saiyan legend. Kai's shortened scene lacks the same impact. Point to Z for letting the moment breathe. My editor also agrees as he says Kai made Vegeta's comeback not a big deal as it was in Z. After a marathon battle, Goku finally gains the upper hand, openly toying with a depleted Frieza.
It's done!
Huh? What do you mean? It's done?
Your energy level is decreasing with every blow. In fact, you're not even a challenge to me anymore. It wouldn't be fair for me to keep fighting you. I'm satisfied now. Your pride has been torn to shreds. You've challenged and lost to a fighter who is superior to you, and to make it worse, he's just a monkey, right? You've been coming at me with everything you've got, but it's finally caught up with you and your power level is falling fast. The fact is, I don't see the point in fighting you anymore. Your pride is already shot. And in the end, I guess that's good enough for me. You were so sure of your own power that you never imagined anyone in the universe could bring you down. Especially a Saiyan.
This savage trash talk scene is razor close. Ignoring Kai's obvious voice acting improvement, both scenes show a level of utter savagery from Goku as he straight roasts Frieza. I better enjoy Z's
He's just a monkey, right?
a petty callback mocking Frieza's hatred towards Saiyans, yet Kai counters by having Goku dismissively grunt.
So go crawl off someplace and hide.
The chilling apathy speaks volumes. However, Z bafflingly ends with Goku telling Frieza,
Goodbye, Frieza. Never do mischief again. May you live the rest of your life in peace.
I had to laugh. Way to kill the mood, Goku. Thankfully, Kai maintains ruthless consistency. So, by sustaining the vitriol and avoiding odd tonal shifts, Kai narrowly wins this ruthless roasting. With Goku having exhausted his empathy along with his energy, Kai's stone-cold savagery fits the bill. Both scenes are great, but I'll give a point to Kai for me. However, my editor enjoyed the voice acting in Z more. To him, it felt more like Goku was that guy. It didn't feel only as if he was toying with Frieza, but also speaking the very truth towards his enemy. So point towards Z for him. Now, we've gotten to the end of the saga, with Goku defeating Frieza with his Rage Kamehameha. However, I'm going to the start of this interaction when Frieza is begging for energy.
You have to help me.
How many people begged for their lives at your feet and you killed them anyway? Did you show me mercy when I asked you to spare my best friend Krillin?
Forgive me. Have mercy on me. You can't do this.
How many people asked you for mercy? Hundreds? Thousands? What gives you the right to expect any? Especially from me!
Please. Please. I beg you.
A very close call between the two versions. Fundamentally, the scenes play out similarly. However, Z claims a narrow victory for me by including extra dialogue about Krillin's death. Additionally, Z's music strikes a nicely unsettling tone as Goku debates whether to share his energy with this genocidal tyrant. For this, I think I gotta give the point to Z. Now, the final conversation Goku has with Frieza on Namek.
So much for the awesome power of the legendary Super Saiyan. Can't even beat a dead planet.
Maybe not, but it was enough to beat you, Frieza.
He triumphs that loses everything. The vanquished escapes. I hate to gloat, but there's a lesson here on the virtue of mercy. Its only value is to your foe.
We'll see about that.
Although I like Kai's version, I think Z's version is a lot better here. Goku's comeback on Frieza at the end really solidified it for me, not gonna lie. Point to Z for me. For this one, my editor likes the Kai version more. He says besides him preferring Frieza's reaction in Z, he thinks the longer scene in Z wasn't as logical as the shorter one in Kai. Due to the little time Goku has left to leave the planet, making each second precious, the slower conversation in Z was pointless to him, and honestly, I've never even thought about that, but that's a valid point. So, Kai gets a point for him. Now, for Frieza's final arrogant attack.
And you are nothing but a beast, a fragile animal. You can't win, because I am mighty, and you are not. Now learn. Learn what happens when you mess with the most powerful being in the universe! You fool! The likes of you are only fit to grovel at my feet! Better still, who die in disgrace at the hands of your master! You fool!
Kai once again prevails to me. Kai's dialogue radiates Frieza's enduring hubris and self-delusion, staunchly declaring his own might despite all evidence to the contrary. Meanwhile, Z makes him sound more unconvinced, like he's desperately trying to psych himself up. Both takes have merit, but I prefer Kai spotlighting Frieza's signature overconfidence, persisting even in his utter defeat. It remains true to the very end that he cannot fathom anyone exceeding his power. Additionally, Kai's Goku bellows, "You fool!" with way more fury. Z lacks the same volatile emphasis when Goku unleashes his climactic blast. For this, I gotta give a point for Kai on this one. However, my editor thinks Z did it better. He says in Z, both Frieza's speech and whole scene composition made me feel his anger more. Also, Goku's speech to Frieza was way more impactful, so point for the Z version for him. And that concludes the Frieza comparison between Kai and Z. Both dubs of this show are great in their own ways, and I can see why people prefer one over the other. However, hopefully this video helps you appreciate both versions more, despite maybe only growing up with one of these versions. Next time, I'll be going over the Cell Saga. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and leave a like. Also, be sure to check out my Dragon Ball Z videos. See you there.